This video is brought to you in collaboration with WoWhead.com. Hello everyone! The Battle of Dazar'alor is finally upon us, together with the final chapter of the 8.1 war campaign. Where Uldir was more about dealing with the problems of the past, the battle is all about the recent Horde alliance conflict and the campaign attached to it. During the previous chapters of the campaign, we saw the Horde secure some Azerite, duke it out with Gelbin Mechatork, and get Priscilla Ashvane out of prison. The Alliance defended Kaltiris against the Horde onslaught, created a brutally strong ally in the form of Grong, and stole back the Abyssal Scepter from the Zandalari treasury. The Alliance has worked very hard at creating an opening into the heart of the Zandalari Empire. Considering last time that they approached it didn't end too well for the fleet. Saboteurs have rigged the area with bombs. Now I saw some wonder when exactly this happened, when were the bombs placed, but that was during the first part of the Alliance war campaign. But just dealing with the fleet and getting this opening going is not going to be good enough. The capital is full of Horde and Zandalari forces. We're going to need a distraction.
An assault on the city of Dazar'alor will destabilize the Horde's relations with the Zandalari. Our goal is to draw them north into Nazmir. We'll hit them with guerrilla tactics and rile up the blood trolls.
My people will form strike teams to provide support. And High Tinker Mechatork's engineers will assemble a few surprises for the Horde.
The Tide Sages will use the Abyssal Scepter to conceal our true intentions beneath a thick layer of mist. Meanwhile, the fleet will invade Dazar'alor from the south.
I won't lie. Not everyone will be coming back from this. We need the Horde to believe the attack is real. Sacrifices will be unavoidable. But if we are successful, we can bring this whole war to an end in a matter of weeks.
Blade Master Telamon is a Lightforged Draenei that's been fighting for millennia with the Army of the Light against the Burning Legion. He watched as his own planet became a bitter dead husk, all because of the desire for power that some of his people could not control. He believes that if the Horde is left unchecked, it's going to be the doom for Azeroth. No price is too high to ensure that no one goes through the same pain as he did, and he's more than ready to lay down his life if need be. We go into Nazmir to make them believe that the Alliance assault comes from the area rather than from the harbor. The village of Zalamar is cleared out of blood trolls to move our army forward. Locations are marked for the Dark Iron Maul machines to drop in fresh troops, after which Brother Pike is ready for his ritual. With the Abyssal Scepter that we stole back, he can not only cover the area in fog, there will also be an illusion to mimic an entire fleet of the beach. Smoke and emitters to make the attack seem as real as possible, but just illusions is not going to be enough. Blood will have to be spilled as the Alliance throws everything they got at taking as much of Nazmir as they can. The Bloodgate is their final goal to claim, with the fallen outpost standing in their way. The Goblin Amod that did such massive damage against the Blood Trolls and opened a way into Uldir, that is destroyed by Telamon and his allies. Of course, the Zandalari trolls guarding the area, they must be taken out as well, but we simply don't have enough troops left to assault the Bloodgate. It's time to turn the enemy weapons against them. With some gnomish ingenuity, we take control of the battle beast and we charge through their ranks. Reports soon enough come in that the Horde is on the move. Our fake assault, it has worked wonders and the city's being emptied. Telamon is going to stay behind and keep the Horde busy. Rumor has it that Rokan is still attacking them all by himself. Time to see if the Lightforged can overcome the Shadow Hunter.
May your foes tremble. Alliance forces are marching through Nazmir. They have taken the Bloodgate.
They mean to establish a staging ground for an attack on Zuldazar. Our scouts have reported a large fleet assembling off the coast.
We must retake our territory and destroy this fleet.
Our forces have come to know the wilds of Nazmir. We can rout the Alliance, so long as we fight together with the Zandalari.
Agreed. We must strike as one on all fronts. Talanji, lend your aid at the Bloodgate while we prepare our armies.
I will rally the Horde's forces. This is our chance to end this war on our terms.
Champion, spread word of our counterattack and meet me at the Bloodgate.
We tell Captain Rezokun to send out the fleet, General Rakera to mobilize the warriors, and Hexlord Rao to take to the sky and lead our aerial forces. We fly with them to show the Alliance the error of their ways, quickly figuring out that the land is covered within a thick fog. Rokan could not hold the ground by himself and has been taken captive by Telamon. We save him, of course, send the Lightforge running, while also taking out a whole bunch of the Alliance forces at the Bloodgate. Rakera should be able to handle the rest of the enemy now, but Raal's forces, they're having quite a bit of trouble. They cannot fly through this fog. We need their support from the sky, but perhaps the destroyed A-mod will give us the solution. By gathering the Gob Squad and parts for repairs, we can upgrade it into the F-mod, a flying mech of death. All it needs is a bit of juice to get started. Power provided by the Loa Akunda. Death to the enemy that dare to encroach upon our lands. The Blood Trolls are already very familiar with the power that the F-mod possesses, and the Alliance quickly learns too as we push them out of the Fallen Outpost and Zul'jah ruins. The fog is still a bit of a problem though, but we'll get there soon enough. Our priority now is to get rid of the Dark Item Mole machines, as they're constantly moving troops on and off the battlefield. Witch Doctor Kajabu and Yochunga, two trolls that we parted with against the Blood Trolls in Nusmir. They're already busy fighting against the mirror image of Telamon, and of course we help them out. The Blade Master is the one leading the Alliance forces in the area, and his defeat would send their assault forces into chaos. He's already proven himself to be a capable fighter, but the four of us together, we should have a better chance at stopping him. It doesn't look too good for the Lightforged, but he seems more than ready to lay down his life. His body is going to be torn to shreds. Every last soldier that the Alliance sent into Nusmir, they will not make it home. We'll make sure of that. Now together, with our armies united, we finally uncover the source of the fog. It's the Abyssal Scepter, left behind to keep the spell work going. Talanji is unable to dispel the magic, so our only option is to destroy it. Destroy the powerful artifact and reveal the land around us. Reveal that there is no army here, nor a fleet. We have been deceived.
This be giving me a bad feeling. Why bring the fog if there be no ships to hide?
It does not make sense. Unless they wanted us to be in Nazmir. They have deceived us! My father stands alone to defend the city!
Those alliance snakes!
Our home is under siege! Return to Zuldazar at once!
But by the time that the Horde gets back to the capital, it's already too late. Kashan and Kelsey checked on the bombs that the Alliance placed earlier within Zuldazar harbor. They're primed and ready to destroy the Zandalari fleet. The Alliance will strike down the Zandalari and remove the Horde's most powerful ally from the war.
Commander! Look!
Fish jumping right into our nets. Go! Go!
Those ballista will be firing any second.
Continue our approach, Captain.
Aye, Lord Admiral.
Lady Proudmoore, the mission was a success. Our stealth agents are clear of the area.
Thank you, Spy Master. Hi, Tinker. Are you ready?
I'll activate our surprise just as soon as we're in range.
Now.
Steady.
Incoming!
Hi, Tinker! Gelbin. No.
Look out!
Seeing Mechatork and the gnomes, as well as the other races, get a little bit more time to shine in the spotlight is pretty damn amazing. He, of course, does what gnomes do best and pushes the big red button to set off the explosives. Tendrit, Jaina's long-lost brother, that she pulled out of the storm, as well as the RPG and into the official storyline, he gladly follows the orders of his sister, now Lord Admiral of Kaltiris. On the ground, in the port of Zandalari, we follow the lead of Gan Greymane and Matthias Shaw, while Mechatork unleashes the beasts.
You trespass upon sacred ground, outsiders! You will not defile Zuldazar with your filth!
A troll paladin. Now I've seen it all. Protest all you want, but you appear to be outnumbered.
The light of the Loa is all the strength I need. Face me!
Ravani is the champion of the light that the Alliance has to face, a Zandalari troll capable of wielding the light. You might remember how some of the other Zandalari paladins were quite upset when they lost the Loa Rezan to Zul schemes. High Prelate Rata says that they are broken. The light of Rezan has left them. Only a handful of those that followed the great king of the Loa still have any sort of power, and even they are suspect. Their life was devotion itself. Now, who do they become? Losing Rezan also pushed King Rastakhan into his bargain with Bonsamdi to regain his power and defend his city from Zul and the Blood Trolls. I've been asking around and I couldn't find a clear answer given, but it is very possible that not all of the Zandalari, not all of the paladins are actually followers of Rezan, or that they draw their powers from a different Loa. From Hearthstone, we can see that some of the light wielders actually draw their power from Shirvala, which is a different Loa. So that might be why Ravani has no problem with putting up a fight, and why, once they do finally release them, the Zandalari allied race can still become paladins.
Light, guide me to the other side.
All forces advance. Establish a perimeter. I don't want any surprises.
We have little time before the Horde return to the city. Keep moving! Vanguard, with me! Press forward!
Soldiers, defend our sacred city. Halt the enemy advance. Zandalari forever!
We fight our way through the Grand Bazaar with a cute little fight that must look very familiar to the Horde players that have done the world quest. We send the merchants running while Grong smashes up the city.
I'll hold the Zandalari back! Heroes, you deal with this pair of Horde thugs!
Well, well. The Alliance's greatest heroes, stumbling their way into the heart of the Troll Empire. I fear we can let them proceed no further.
On my homeworld, I leveled countless light-bound foes. I have been eager to do the same to these rivals of the Horde.
Then let us teach them a lesson, shall we?
A Magar monk and a Blood Elf Fire Mage, Mara Grimfang and Anaphos Firecaller. To the untrained eye, they may seem like a mismatched pair, but don't underestimate them, as their combined powers, they're quite challenging. She will throw out some mighty powerful kung fu moves, kick your tank up into the air, probably some skills that she picked up in the time where we visited alternate reality of Draenor. That's where the uncorrupted orcs come from after all, recruited by the Horde to aid them in the war against the Alliance. Now while she does the melee fighting, Anaphos, he teleports around the field, dropping bombs, shielding himself, and trying to cast off his most powerful spells. Eventually, they'll combine their strengths and make us run through a little gauntlet. Rings of hostility, they narrow the path we can move through, while fiery phoenixes rain down from the sky. At the end is a barrier that needs to be broken in order to get these two back into the fight, only to then see them transform into the mighty phoenix and the jade serpent.
Be on guard, champions. I sense a rising darkness.
Broken!
One Samdi!
Oh, my. Does the mighty Rastakhan need old One Samdi's help yet again?
Aid us, or you will be the Loa of a ruined kingdom with no one to remember your name.
Rise, fallen one. Zandalari, be ours forever.
It seems the Banshee Queen isn't the only one with ghouls in her arsenal.
No surprise in her choice of allies. The Zandalari deserve their fate.
Again, Rastakhan finds his city under siege by overwhelming odds, and again he calls upon Bonsamdi to honor their deal and help him out. The dead now walked the capital, holding the line and trying to buy their main forces enough time to return to the city and help defend it. Speaking of the main forces, and thank you very much to Fatbosstv, Slootbag and Squishei for recording the Horde side of things. I wouldn't be able to show this off with my undergeared ult, so thank you so very much. So the Horde, they return home and they find the city crawling with Alliance forces.
Alliance forces have come ashore in the harbor. They are spreading throughout Zuldazar like a plague.
We must reach the pyramid before they do. My father is defending it with only a handful of guards.
We're gonna be doing everything we can, Princess. Gonna start by clearing these Dark Irons out of the way.
Instead of the Zandalari, the Horde fights against the Dark Irons with their champion of light, Frida Iron Bellows.
Retreat while you can, Horde.
The fight plays out the same as it does on the Alliance side. You want to avoid the consecration on the ground and don't get hit by the wave of light that you always shoot towards the ads. Kill the ads when she changes seals. Make sure to turn away when the ad casts a blinding faith. Go back up to the boss when the ads are dead and her first seal is active again.
No smoldering dwarf will prevent us from reaching the king.
This is the part where the Horde gets to see Rastakhan call upon Bolsandi to aid him. The city now surges with the Loa of Death's power and we have to keep moving. While fighting through the Alliance forces and the Azerite war machine, we stumble upon Mechagon, who has a rather big surprise waiting for us.
Attention, Horde brutes! This primitive pyramid is now Alliance property. To demonstrate our capabilities, we've prepared a little, or shall I say, big surprise for you. You don't have any hope of overcoming gnomish innovation. I advise you to surrender, or to collect a whole lot of bananas.
Grong was willing to work together with the gnomes in the Alliance, because the Bilgewater goblins, they try to enslave and poach his people. For their lives and safety, he has become an instrument of vengeance against the Horde, sacrificing his great intelligence for mighty strength. Power unleashed upon the capital, but by using the core from an Ape Tagonizer 3000 and have him throw a tantrum early, we can actually manage the damage that we take and slay the mighty beast. A mighty foe brought low, but what a waste of a good corpse. What a waste of power.
Oh, what we got here now? This big fella look like him could be useful, eh? But don't you be lazy now, ape man. Get up! Show them invaders them shouldn't be messing with old boy someday.
Rastakhan's magic has turned our own weapon against us.
He was a noble fellow who deserved better. Heroes, do what you have to, but please be merciful.
Now it's the Alliance that has to deal with Grong, but thankfully, they too can get some cores to activate his tantrum. Poor animal, he did his best to clear the way, to save his people, and the best that we can do for him is give him a final death.
Ah! We need these beasts knocked out of the air! Where is Mechagon with that new toy of his?
Did someone call for an airstrike?
Our incursion point is up ahead. Clear a path to the waterfall. You have the coordinates, High Tinker. Fire when ready.
Stand back, heroes! I'll get you inside the pyramid! Breach successful! I'll stay out here and keep the skies clear.
Last time that the Alliance went in here, they ended up running for their lives from Opulence while stealing back the Abyssal Scepter. This time, their forces are a little bit more prepared. Aim of the game is to take on Yalad's Bulwark and the Hand of Inzaghi while going through the two different hallways. The mini-bosses cost abilities of their own, while each room has their own traps to deal with, like fire from the walls, poisonous gas, laser beams, all kinds of fun stuff that we need to avoid. The Zandalari treasury, it does hold powerful artifacts which aid us in the fight, until we reach the center where the real battle awaits.
What are you doing? Don't hide it!
It's no surprise that Gallywix loves opulence so much. Enchanted golden treasury that rises up against anyone except its rightful owner. Created long ago in order of King Dazar, the very first king, to protect the treasure against any potential thief. We're not here for the treasure though, we're here for the king himself, but I don't think that opulence can tell the difference, so we'll have to destroy it.
You monsters! How could you destroy something so glorious? It's true what Sylvanas says. You Alliance goons ain't got no souls!
We're entering the heart of Dazar'alor. Expect fierce resistance from the Zandalari. It would be wise to set some traps to cover our flank. Keep going. I'll catch up.
From opulence, we go through the path of the ancestors, a small taste of what the different Loa can do, until we reach the Conclave of the Chosen. This chamber was built to honor 6 of Zandalar's greatest Loa, guarded by their most devout followers.
You cannot stand against the law!
Trespassers who dare enter this sacred hall are soon met with the primal fury like none that they've ever seen. Baku, mastery over the winds. Gonk, lord of the pack. Kimball, lord of beast, and Akunda, bringer of lightning. And then you'll have Cragwall represented on heroic mode and Bonsamdi in mythic. These Loa are worshipped and represented here. You'll fight 2 of the Chosen at the same time, each of them embodying an aspect of their Loa, while the Loa's wrath itself that comes from the center of the room to bring some pain. A fight where you constantly have to pay attention on what Loa is throwing their powers against you, but all the same, their Chosen fall, clearing the way to King Rastakhan himself.
The throne room lies ahead.
We have struck a decisive blow against the Zandalari. Let us hope their king chooses to surrender and spare his people further harm.
So apparently, they did not just come here with the intention to slay Rastakhan, they just sieged the city to try and make him surrender. During my playthrough, I didn't hear any of the voice files, but there are some datamine dialogue with Gen asking the king to surrender, and then the king refuses. Sadly, that RP didn't play out through my first raid encounter. Now the Alliance, they don't really see Jaina around very much. That's because she was busy with the Horde. She made them run through a gauntlet, where her icy ability slowed them down until they reached the Horde version of the Jadefire Masters.
Your advance ends here, Horde filth. You will answer for your crimes against Colteras.
In the twisting nether, I slew countless demons of the Legion. This motley crew of troll sympathizers poses little threat.
Not against a Magar and a Blood Elf. Instead, it's the Kaltiran Mensoroi Flame Fist as the Fire Mage and the Draenei Mestra as the Monk. Though they began training together only recently, they have perfected their teamwork and now present a united front. Their abilities and the fights, it generally plays out the same, and with their defeat, the path to Rastakhan is open. The Alliance is ahead of the Horde though, as they confront the king at his seat of power.
You do not face me alone, invaders! You stand before the finest defenders of Zuldazar!
For over 200 years, King Rastakhan has ruled the Zandalari Empire. When his Loa Razan fell to Zul, he accepted a bargain with Bonsamdi to save his kingdom, but it came at a great price. Not only he, but his entire bloodline is bound to the Loa to serve him in life and in death.
Bonsamdi! The Alliance invaders have struck down our people! Aid me!
What you be raising such a fuss about, your majesty? Old Bonsamdi ain't gonna let no outsiders take your throne.
True to his word, Bonsamdi joins the fight himself. The king has zombie dust totems to take control of his foes, fire that spreads, and plague frogs that hop across the fields.
Go, my Bonsamdi! You are my Loa! Honor our bargain and strike down these attackers!
You be mighty demanding, Rastakhan. I'm gonna give you the power you seek, but you better watch your tone.
Even more power of the Loa is fueled into the king, while some of his enemies are drawn into Death Realm, forced to fight Bonsamdi by themselves. This realm isn't exactly healthy for the living, but they can drop their stacks by walking through Death's Door, while kicking the crap out of Bonsamdi until he has enough.
Why are these invaders still resisting? You should have dealt with them by now, Bonsamdi!
You've been king a long time, Rastakhan. Maybe. Beware. If you can't be getting the job done, perhaps that pretty daughter of yours can.
The Loa has been lusting after the king's soul for quite some time now. While leveling, Horde players, they actually retrieved his soul with the aid of Razan. But the Loa of Kings is gone, and Rastakhan sold his soul for power.
Let the fire...
This power, this death, it is a curse, not a blessing. Oh, daughter, what have I done?
Not just his soul either, but his entire bloodline. Now, even though the Alliance wanted him to surrender, there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of time for peace negotiations. This battle is to the death.
My daughter.
Rastakhan chose his fate when he sided with the Horde.
We can savor our victory back in Borealis. It's time to get our people out of here.
Everyone, head to the ships!
Princess Talanji!
Get to the king. Now.
Father, no. Please, stay. Stay with me.
Talanji. My daughter. I'm so sorry.
Hush, Father. Shh. It's all right.
Forgive me.
One someday.
Yes, my queen.
What have you done to me?
Oh, he didn't tell you about our bargain? Shame on him.
Your Majesty! The Alliance dogs are escaping! What are your orders?
After them!
And now it's the Lungi that's tied to Bonsandi. The Alliance has murdered her father, seized her city, and cannot be allowed to escape.
I'll do my best to tell you what happened. It started when they saw their king fall. The Horde hoped to pin us between their pursuing champions
You
and the
plan to
forces
stop
holding
me
the
with
docks.
that gaudy
But they
piece
didn't
of
count on the
junk you
High
call a
Tinker.
flight
He gave
suit?
us help from the
Were you
skies,
planning
while
to
gnome forces
sparkle
aided
me
us
to
on the
death?
ground.
You think you're better than
Until
me?
Gallywix
You think you're
showed
better
up.
than me? Let's go, Tinker Boy!
High Tinker Mechatork, leader of the gnomes, now stands before us. His inventions overpower Gallywix's money, so it'll be up to us to take him on. This one is probably my favorite fight in the entire raid. Not just because we get to see the leader of the gnomes in action, not just because he actually uses explosive sheep and incredible gnomish inventions to try and murder us. You also get shrunk down, and then you need to jump into one of his spark bots, enter the right code to disable it, which is a code that only your teammates can see, and they need to tell you. Did I mention that while you're shrunk down, you can also be squished by your own teammates? Yeah, it's just, in general, a really fun fight.
Suit failing. Not looking good.
The High Tinker fought bravely, but in the end, it wasn't enough. Thank the tides he had one last trick up his sleeve to carry him to safety.
What the? Okay, I wanna know two things. First, how could you let that pipsqueak get away? And second, why don't I have an escape pod?
Enough! That's one Alliance hero down. But I want your blades soaked in Proudmoore blood. Move!
The 7th Legion fought bravely to get us out of there.
Hold this ground, 7th Legion. We need to get our ships away.
Leaving so soon, Shaw? Oh, what a pity. I've got an arrow with your name carved into it.
We'll cross paths again, Blightcaller. I'll see you dead or in chains before this war ends, I promise you.
The Horde troops were relentless, bloodthirsty. But our Koltiran forces weren't backing down.
I need this blockade broken and these docks secured.
You should have never challenged the might of Koltiris, Horde scum!
We're not here to taunt them. Focus on the ritual. We must ensure all our people make it out.
Oh, we will! doesn't mean I can't enjoy myself while doing it.
Put a stop to whatever ritual those cult tyrants are attempting, and quell their blathering while you're at it.
Brother Joseph and Sister Catherine have great command over the sea and storm. The ritual that they're channeling is no joke, but by splitting up our forces, we take them on at the same time, disrupting them and preventing Laminaria from instantly killing us. With the Tide Priest dead, we still have their summoned monster to deal with, yet nothing is going to stand in our way of claiming vengeance for the king.
That's when the Troll Princess returned, with blood in her eyes.
No! Those butchers are getting away!
Helm! Bring us to the docks!
By the Loa, the
What has
Alliance
happened
invaded
here?
our city and killed our king. The wounded need my aid, Captain. Take these Horde champions and pursue the murderers. Bring me the head of Jaina Proudmoore.
It will be so, Princess. Heroes, come aboard!
Lord Admiral Proudmoore was as gallant as they come. She offered the Horde every chance to turn back.
All hands on deck! Time to make the daughter of the sea pay for trespassing in our waters.
Consider this your only warning. Turn your vessel back to port and look after your dead, or you will soon join them.
I have heard of you, Jaina Proudmoore. The little girl who betrayed her father and lost her brother to war. Failure is your family legacy.
If you know so much about me, Captain, then you would have been wise to run while you still had the chance.
You will pay for your crimes. All hands, attack!
But the Daughter of the Sea is very powerful on her own, and she does not stand alone. While dealing with her magical powers and enemies boarding the ship, she lures us into open waters where there's nowhere to run.
When it looked like the Horde might get the upper hand, the Lord Admiral turned the tables.
Ha! Horde vessels on the horizon! You have nowhere left to run, Ice Witch!
You really think I've been running, Captain?
Impossible!
I lured you into open waters, because out here, you have no hope of escape.
Even when we do manage to withstand the cold and overpower her, she has bought the Alliance forces enough time to retreat, and does the same with Icebound Escape. The Alliance has achieved victory, but the price was very high, with Jaina severely wounded, and the fate of Mechatork is kinda uncertain. They believe that the war with the Horde is almost over. Time to check in with King Endwin and discuss the future of our ongoing war campaign.
Be vigilant.
My king, the attack on Zuldazar was a resounding success.
The Horde is losing on all fronts. The Alliance should achieve victory in a matter of weeks.
Yes, but at what cost? So many fallen, including Mechatork, whose life hangs by a thread. And I fear the death of Rastakhan will ignite a fire in the hearts of the Zandalari.
He was a casualty of war, Anduin. A king must be willing to sacrifice himself for his people, without doubt or hesitation.
I know that, Gen, as well as anyone. But our mission was to drive a wedge between the Zandalari and the Horde. Instead, we may have strengthened their bond.
More than half the Zandalari vessels were destroyed in the initial strike, and the Horde fleet is in disarray. Their remaining ships cannot hope to stand against the Kultiran navy.
The Horde has never been more vulnerable. We should strike hard before Sylvanas hatches another vile scheme.
Press the attack as the Zandalari mourn their fallen king? That would make us no better than the Banshee.
She's the real problem here. I imagine she's already finding ways to turn this to her advantage.
We must continue the fight, but as we push toward victory, we must never lose sight of who we are and what we stand for. Jaina, is there anything you can do for Mechatork?
I'm sorry. The mechanism preserving his body is unlike any magic I have encountered.
Our priests feel just as helpless. History will say we won a great victory in Zuldazar. Yet I find little cause for celebration.
It was a costly battle, in many ways.
But enough of that. How are you faring? You held off the Horde's finest warrior so our fleet could withdraw. You risked everything for the Alliance, Jaina.
Still recovering, but I'll be fine. You have enough on your mind without worrying about me.
It is good to have you back with us, Auntie. I missed you.
So much transpired while I was away. Anduin, I've heard rumors about an old friend of mine, Kalia Menethil. What happened in Arathi?
There is much to explain. Some I still don't fully understand. But I'll tell you what I know.
Thank you. Let's find somewhere quiet to talk.
Mechatork's invention is now keeping him out of the grave, but no one seems to be able to help him. Those of you that kept up with the news and what's coming in patch 8.2, you might be able to guess what the future holds for the King of the Gnomes, but that's future talk. Jaina is asking about her childhood friend Kalia, which is the first mention of the events from the novel Before the Storm. We did have the graves in Arathi, but now there's actually a character inquiring and talking about what happened in the book. I've done a separate video on it if you want more details, but they're talking about Kalia being shot down and then resurrected as a holy undead in the Priest Order Hall. It might be nice for Jaina to already warm up to the idea of a resurrected former loved one, considering what goes down on the Horde side as they gather to honor the fallen King Rastakhan.
Thank you for coming, champion. Zuldazar is still reeling from the Alliance attack. My people's faith has been shaken, and so has my own.
I, too, know the pain of losing a father. If there is anything I can do, please, do not hesitate to ask.
You have seen firsthand the treachery of the Alliance. Let your grief be sated by vengeance against them.
This is not the time to speak of revenge, Blightcaller.
Enough! The war chief has arrived.
The lifeblood of Azeroth. My condolences on your loss, Princess. Excuse me, Queen Talanji.
Titles mean little to me now. I must know. With the Zandalari navy in ruins, does the Horde intend to abandon us?
We do not turn our back on our allies, Talanji. The war campaign has taken an unfortunate turn, to be certain. But our cause is not lost.
My queen, reports are coming in from all outposts. The Alliance is tightening its grip. Victory is within their grasp.
Perhaps we can open negotiations with...
The Alliance slays the leader of the Zandalari, and you speak of negotiations? No, this war will not end until we stand victorious. Until the little lion kneels before my throne. Meet me aboard the Banshee's whale. I have a plan to ensure the Proudmoore family pays dearly for Rastakhan's death.
The Zandalari took a heavy blow for the sake of the Horde, and the Horde will not forsake them. Things don't exactly look great for the war effort, but we do still have two things from the war campaign left. We got Priscilla Ashvane out of prison into a secret meeting with the Banshee Queen, as well as the body of Derek Proudmoore. He fell defending the world against the original Horde, and now they possess his body.
Sylvanas! What reason could you possibly have for this madness?
Derek Proudmoore was a hero to the Kultirans. They are sure to stage a rescue attempt when they learn of his fate. And once his mind has been properly conditioned, we will allow the Proudmoores to recover their long-lost prince, so he can slaughter them in their sleep.
This is too far. How many times must we forsake our honor?
There can only be victory or death for us, Bane. And death is mine to master.
What? What is this? Why am I... What have you done to me?
Why, Lord Proudmoore, I've given you a chance to reunite with your family. You should be grateful.
Derek Proudmoore will be twisted to become a weapon against Catherine and Jaina Proudmoore. The Alliance brought an army to kill Rastakhan. All we need is one Forsaken to kill their leaders. It does seem like Bane is finally getting ready to actually do something, but again, those are events for the future. For now, you're up to speed with the story that takes place during the Battle of Dazar'alor. I personally can't wait to see what the future's going to bring. What is Bonsandi's goal now that he's connected to Talanji? What are Ashvane and Windrunner planning? What will Derek do for the war effort now that he's been turned into a Forsaken? And how will the events of Before the Storm actually affect the story? Only time will tell, I suppose. But for now, thank you very much for watching, everyone. If you're looking for some more details on all the things that we talked about today, then check out the Related Wild article in the description down below. Subscribe if you like my videos, leave a like if you enjoyed this one, and until next time, guys, see ya!